Welcome back to the Code of Ethics podcast with your boy Dr. Terry Maz Harris and Musa.
You know it, baby. What's up with it, man?
We powered by 1515 Media and we keeping it lit, man. How you feeling, Musa?
Oh, I'm feeling good, man. You know God is good, man. It's a
All
new
the time.
day. How you feeling, man?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just this is our third episode.
Yeah,
So I
that's
feel the
why I'm
progression.
smiling like this, like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, we really doing something,
Come
man.
on, man. It feels good. And we want to thank everybody out there who has subscribed to either our YouTube channel, our Instagram, our Facebook.
Yeah, we appreciate
y'all.
it. We really
got a
do.
whole lot more content coming.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And we just, we taking it in stride and just getting better and better as
Better
we go.
as
Man,
we
it
go.
feels good to be a podcast.
You always get better with time when you doing anything, for
Real
sure.
talk. Real talk.
That's a fact.
Real talk, man. We getting better, man. So look, we got a new episode today. This is episode 3. We're gonna title this thing Sex and Relationships.
Yeah.
You know, we got a couple
Doc
messages.
coming today.
Yeah. We got
Okay.
we're gonna go there today. We're talking about sex and relationships. But let's just revisit last week's episode. We want to shout out King Miller
For
from
sure.
Fairfield, California.
For
Y'all make sure
sure.
y'all check out that Elevate project. Have you checked out a couple of those songs?
Yeah. Hey, and the video that y'all did on the strip, it was dope.
Hey, give me
The-
some.
the-
Give me some. Appreciate
the-
that, brother.
ooh.
Thank you. And I love how
Yeah.
like we able to kind of blend everything that we naturally do with this podcast, right?
Yeah,
so with the
that's a fact.
blending the music and
That's a fact.
with the conversations and all that. So it's just gonna get better and better. But any artists out there, any authors out there, any entertainers out there trying to get on, man, make sure y'all reach out. Send us a DM or
Man,
something.
make sure you tap in.
Mm-hmm.
Code of Ethics Podcast on the Instagram, IG. Hit us anytime. We always willing to hear you out, man.
Real talk. Hey, man, the weather been a little crazy.
Man,
Been
the weather been tripping.
I've been going back and forth a little
Depending
bit.
on where you at.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Real
Depending
talk,
on
real
where
talk.
you at, because it's been hot in Vegas.
Yeah, we on here on this West Coast, man, getting a lot of
Yeah.
that sunshine, man.
No
They
bull.
don't know if it want to go into real fall cupcaking weather or if it want to stay in that summertime.
Yeah,
you know?
it's tripping right now. I don't know what
For
it want to
real.
do. That's a fact, man. And it be windy sometimes, and then sometimes but man, on the East Coast and down south, it's some places that's getting hit heavy with hurricanes and
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
thunderstorms.
Talk
and,
about that.
man, that's crazy. I heard in Tennessee they was watching the caskets float down the street. That's from the stream of water just going
Man.
so deep out there in the graves. That's
That is
crazy,
wild.
man.
Because a lot of those cities back south, the graves are not like out here where it's like 6 feet
Yeah,
underground.
yeah.
Some of them are on top of the ground.
Yeah, and you could
Right.
tell I mean, come on, a casket
Yeah.
literally just popping up and floating, but it's just sad to what it could do to the mind of a kid that's seeing that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's the only thing, like, as adults we could stomach that, but it's just the kids, like,
Yeah.
damn, they gotta go through that,
And I send mine to anybody going through something
For sure.
down
for
there.
sure.
You know,
To all the families.
my cousin was in Hurricane Katrina, and that was traumatizing. You know what I mean?
Man.
Just hearing some of the stories that he shared with me about Katrina, like it was bad. It was
Yeah,
really
that's
bad.
crazy. Cause I mean, seeing it on TV is one thing, but to actually know somebody that went through it, I'm sure that's a whole different ball game.
Cuzzo told me, he said they lived on a second story, and it was about 16, 17 steps to get to his front porch.
Right.
He said at the height of Hurricane Katrina, the water came up to the 16th step, and he
Wow.
literally had to swim away.
Bro, you know how high that
high.
is?
That's high. A
So if you
two-story building?
didn't, man, imagine if you didn't know how to swim, or
Wow.
imagine the casualty.
That's crazy,
That's
man.
crazy.
So, man, I send mine to anybody going through anything, catastrophic right now, and just, depending on their natural resources to try to get up out of it and just stay safe, man. We send ours from the Code of Ethics podcast.
That's a
you know.
fact.
I know that's challenging.
Yeah, and I stand behind that 100%.
And it's a lot going on in the news, man. Starting from SpaceX and
Right.
NASA.
Right.
They just sent a spaceship out to the International Space Station a couple days ago. Did you see that?
Nah, but I didn't see it, but I'm aware of what they trying to do.
What they doing up there, man?
Man, they got a space force now. You get what I'm saying? They actually got a space force that's similar to like the Army Navy, where you could actually sign up and get admitted into if you got the capabilities of going or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
Now the ins and outs, like in particulars, I don't know, but I'm assuming they doing something to where if they always spending a lot of taxpayers' money to get to where they going, year in and year out, looking at
Yeah.
the economy, we in inflation, war, like the whole nine is just it's crazy to be, doing that.
That's fascinating right there because on the International Space Station, it's split between multiple countries. So it's a space station that's just floating outer space about 30 hours up from here,
Right,
right? And
right.
so they're just in the middle of air and gravity or whatever you call it up there.
The Federation, right?
So it's
Not to
a
cut
no,
you off,
it's
but
the United States, NASA,
uh-huh.
it's China and their space agency. They have a part of the International Space Station. Russia, like one of our
Wow.
biggest
Right,
enemies in the United
right,
States,
right.
has a section on this International Space Station, and I believe Canada has something to do with it. So it's multiple countries that collaborated on this unit that's just out there in the space, and they're doing all types of research. And so the latest thing with that
That's
is that there
crazy.
was two astronauts. So there's like 12 of them up there at a time,
Hmm.
and they're sending flights up to space
Back and
every
forth.
6 months, and this is the most that they've gone outer space in the history of the world. And so when they go there, their destination is typically the International Space Station, unless they're doing some kind of trip to Mars or trip
That's
to the
crazy.
moon or something like that. But the International Space Station is a designated spot for all these countries to send a couple astronauts at a
Right.
time to do scientific research, right? They're not publishing the specific types of research that they're doing. I know typically when people search or when I search online about anything out of space, it's like any contact with
Right,
life out there. Is
right,
there any kind of
right.
life out there, right? So, they're not really talking about any contact with anything out there. But the biggest thing out there is there was two astronauts who was sort of stranded there.
Hmm.
What I mean by that, they're on 6 month rotation. So they go up there for 6 months, do their research, and they go back down. There was a problem with their spaceship going back
Hmm.
down. So they weren't feeling comfortable enough to board that spaceship and go back down so they sent it down on its own, which it touched down at NASA in Florida safely. So there's two extra bodies
Right,
up there, right? It's,
right.
it's supposed to be like 10 or 12 at a time.
That's
Now it's
crazy.
14, right? So
Right.
so they just sent and mind you, with these new spaceships, they're partnered with Elon Musk as well, right?
Hmm.
So that's even more crazy with me that Elon Musk has this huge partnership with NASA, and they're doing commercial
crazy.
flights
That's
to
crazy.
space. They're like people can pay a certain amount of
Yeah.
money and go up to the space station for a
See,
certain amount
you
of time and come
clarified
back
it for
down.
me. I didn't even know they was going that frequent.
This is wild, bro. You got to
Like, yeah.
y'all look this up. They and let us
I
know in the
definitely
comments
got to,
why
yeah.
are they going out of space so much. I got a couple thoughts on this, which we'll get into in a little bit.
We all
but
got to. We gotta look it up.
Mhm.
I'ma look it
This is
up
huge.
because
This is
this
huge.
clarifying. Yeah, this crazy.
they're literally going outer space every 6 months under our nose. At the same time that we have this huge issue with Russia and
Right.
Ukraine's going on, the
Right.
issue in Gaza, the issue with Israel and
Palestine.
Palestine,
Right.
Iran, and all these people that's getting into it.
Right.
And,
You're right.
this cusp of this world war sort of idea. They're going out there exploring all these different, areas that's off of Earth.
So tell me, do this have something to do with why they all going to Antarctica?
Tell me about Antarctica. I don't know enough about that
It's
one.
similar to what you saying, but just not in space, just in Antarctica. Like it's a certain type of peace treaty amongst all nations, to where all nations. I mean, every president's been down there. You get what I'm saying? A lot of important people is going down there, and a lot of people that take trips to go see Antarctica say it's only so far they can go in, and they get stopped by government, and it's always government agencies that's stopping them. It's not like local police or military. It's always government agencies that's identified in these interviews that I've seen about it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's similar to what you saying.
You know what? I ain't heard too much about the Antarctica thing, but it makes me think like, and this is something for our listeners to reflect on as
Right.
well. Is like,
Right.
there's things happening in this world that's beyond what's in front of us, what we can
That's a
see,
fact.
or
That's a
it's
fact.
what's in our immediate environment. And if we're
That's
not
a
in
fact.
tune to all these other different things that's going on around us, it really does impact us in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Not like with this whole NASA idea, like there's two people who were sort of stuck up there, right?
Right.
So these spaceships that Elon Musk has built for NASA fit 4 astronauts at a time. This last rotation of astronauts that just went up there 2 days ago,
Right.
they just put 2 of them in there so they can have room for those other 2 that's up there, right?
That's stuck.
So
right.
they went up there. It's like a 30-hour trip, and this is all live too. They're filming this live from NASA, right? You can go on YouTube and watch the videos.
I gotta go do
shout out
my
to NASA.
research on this. Yeah.
And they're showing live how they board the flight. You know, they depressurize the cabin. They get in the cabin. They go up 30 hours. They up there for 30 hours just flying.
All
and it's
live.
not just going straight up. I noticed either. They like go up, and it take like 10 minutes to get
Right.
out of the Earth's atmosphere.
Right.
Right. So to where you like looking back and you see nothing but black in front of you, and in the back you just see this blue circle, this blue ball, and that's Earth. Right. It take like 10 minutes.
Right.
To do that. And they literally filmed that, right? And that's a trip too. Like just they go up 10 minutes, then they looking back, and it's just this blue ball.
That's crazy, huh?
And so
That's
but
crazy.
they don't keep going straight up. I noticed that they start going like sideways, like the
like curve a little bit. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Not horizontal, but vertical.
Right.
If that's right. But and then their goal is to go steady and to catch up with the International Space Station, which is going like thousands of miles an hour around the Earth.
Right.
And so their goal is like to slowly, I guess, catch up with it, connect to it, and boom, they're up there on the International Space Station.
That's crazy.
Y'all got to go watch those videos.
Yeah,
I learned a whole lot
go
just checking
them.
that stuff out. I thought it was fascinating. So if it's any
We
other people
gotta
who think
go
that
watch
shit crazy,
'em.
go check it out. But the
We
biggest
gotta
thing
go
to take
watch
from
'em.
it, they going up there every 6 months.
Yeah, that's
why
what's
do y'all
fascinating.
think that's happening?
That's crazy.
And we're on a cusp of this war with Russia, and we're sharing this International Space Station with Russia, and all these other countries, right? So like, what's going on, y'all? What's going on?
That's crazy.
What do y'all think is
man.
going on politically?
I didn't even know they was going up there that frequent.
And who y'all voting for? Go ahead and put that in the comment. Who y'all voting for? Kamala or Trump? Kamala
Who you
or
voting
Trump?
for? You might as well go on and
Just
tell
go
the
ahead and
people
tell
who
it.
you voting for. You
I
asking
think I'm
their
gonna go ahead and vote
opinion.
for Kamala. I think I'm gonna vote for Kamala.
Why?
Hey, and this is probably, I'm not super heavy into politics or nothing like
But
that.
they gonna ask why,
Um,
Doc.
The reason why I want to vote for Kamala is I think that, guys have ran it this whole time, and we've gotten to a certain point. I think we should give the women a chance. Not only just women a chance, but I think that she has a lot of grace in her speeches and how she addresses people. I think she has a lot of respect for people. She hadn't gotten involved with the law or all these different little issues that Trump's gotten involved with.
Right.
And this ain't no jab against Trump, but he did have his turn. Let's go ahead and give Kamala her turn, man. Let's get it rocking, man.
But
get Kamala Harris,
nah,
and she Harris gang too, man. It's Harris Island.
Nah, man. We want to hear more, right?
All
we
right,
want to
all
know,
right.
like, what you know about her. Cause
I-
that's a
I-
big thing in the news right now. Like
It
they
is, it
saying,
is.
she just in 2 weeks she became the most important person in media. And
Right, because she was VP, and and I think the eyes is typically on the president.
Right.
When Kamala decided to run, it's because the president at the time he couldn't go any further. It was kind of clear that he may have had some sort of cognitive issues going on, or maybe he's just aging and stress is just impacting his ability to kind of stay focused on conversations, debates, topics, and that kind of come on the fly.
Right.
You got to respond to that with something clever, right?
Yeah,
And something
yeah.
that makes sense,
Of course.
and something that roused the people and all those
Right.
kinds of things. And he just wasn't doing that compared to his opponent.
That's
and,
okay. I can't knock that. But
so
you
Trump
still
has
ain't
gotten into
tell
some
me
shit.
what you
Trump
know
has
about
gotten into
her.
a lot of stuff. So a lot of my reason for voting for Kamala is because of all of the things that Trump has done, and I only got two options. So I'm gonna choose the lesser of the two.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. And I think that by default it's her. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I couldn't even see myself honestly voting for somebody who America imprisons people who look like me for doing the same exact things, even lesser, way lesser.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact.
Me and you did anything like remotely.
Oh yeah, they gonna hang
close to anything that Trump's gotten convicted of.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that we'd be sitting here doing this podcast?
Nah, not at all.
So it's just on principle of it being fair, I couldn't vote for him by default, right? And I look at a lot of people's Instagrams and they passionately saying to not vote for Kamala, right? And I think a lot of it is just, it's probably fueled off of emotion. Some of it is logical too, because I haven't seen her also go super in depth about certain things. But I think I've heard so much from Trump that I understand what his character is.
Well, yeah, you know exactly what you're dealing with.
Right, so it's either you're gonna rock with what you're dealing with, or you're gonna try to have some hope for Kamala,
and that ain't
the first female president.
That ain't ethical.
And I'm with change, so let's go ahead and rock with some change for right now.
And one thing about it, she is very strong. You get what I'm saying? That's something that we really do need as a nation. So, but a lot of your points I gotta rock with. You was hitting it on point.
Who you voting for? Hey, that's how I felt when you asked me that question. But then I was like, whoever's watching this is looking at me, so I gotta just say it. And I just kept it a buck real quick. It is what it is.
I really don't know yet, honestly.
Okay.
Because I'm still I'm learning her. I know with Trump what we dealing with, but at the same time, I'd rather for you to tell me exactly what it is than for me to have to figure it out down the line. And I understand who he is and what he stands for. So I want to know her a little more. So I've been, doing a lot of research. I've been listening to both sides, Candace Owens, different people that's against her, so I could hear it. You get what I'm saying? And like you were saying, a lot of things that's attached to Kamala is real emotional. None of it is really well thought out for the betterment of the country.
Here's one issue I do got with Kamala, though, and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Nah, go ahead.
So I understand, and I want to shout out 10 Millie, man. Shout out 10 Millie, Jamal Truelove from San Francisco, California, man. This gentleman, from what I understand, he was imprisoned and convicted of murder, right? At that point, he went by Jamal Truelove. And that's his name. Y'all go look his name up. Jamal Truelove, San Francisco, California. I believe he's from some part of the city. I don't know. Maybe over there in Lakeview or Sunnydale, something like that. I think Sunnydale. Nonetheless, Jamal Truelove was convicted of murder, and in San Francisco at the same time when Kamala Harris was the district attorney. From his accounts, at all of his court hearings, she was there cheering and rooting the DA on to get this conviction. So when he was convicted, he specifically spoke about that day when he was convicted. She was cheering in court. Like they got a victory. Some years later, I believe he served some years in prison, right? But he had a legal team working on overturning his case the whole time he was in prison, or for some period of time while he was in prison. Fast forward, his case gets overturned. Okay? He sues the city of San Francisco, and they give him $10 million. Hence, his name, 10 Millie. he went on and did some movies, and I think he's still doing more movies right now and stuff with the music and clothing. But y'all gonna look up Jamal True Love,
That's
10
crazy.
Milli. He makes some stern points, some points that makes a lot of sense to me. Kamala Harris was there rooting for his downfall.
See, I got
and his case was overturned, proven in a court of law that he didn't do it. Right? So, you know, like, what does that say about Kamala? Did she ever issue him an apology? She didn't. From my understanding, to this day, she hasn't issued him an apology.
Was that a conviction to get her in the race to be president?
Say that one more time.
Was that something that she did to get her? Well, let me say it this way. People in positions of power, right? And to gain more power, you gotta, you know, have convictions to become a president. You get what I'm saying? Same thing they were saying about Fannie Mae Willis on the thug shit. But is she doing the same? Did she do the same thing to him as, you know, anybody else in a position of power so they can get elected into office?
I see what you're saying.
On some type of level.
I would like to think that she wouldn't use one case to try and, you know what I'm saying, make that elevation. But I do understand that as district attorneys, it's an elected position. So you're going off of a record, right? You're going off of the public opinion. And so what strengthens that public opinion about you is having a conviction record. So I don't think she looked at his case no different than any other case that she was trying to get a conviction of. They all look like a dub to her, probably. And this ain't for me to try and rationalize it for the sake of Kamala Harris. Jamal True Love was really the victim in this situation, right? He was. This man, I think he actually served like 10 years in prison, if I'm not mistaken, before the case was actually overturned. And then they end up giving him $10 million. The irony in that, right?
Like you could buy time, huh?
You're right. You got the $10 million, but what about that 10 years of his kid's life, his family life? You know what I'm saying? People who miss and love them, you know what I'm saying? And for it to also be proven that he didn't do that is another slap in the face. So here's what I got to say about that. I don't think that, you know, I still wouldn't vote for Trump just because of that situation, just knowing what I know about Trump. But what I do want to say to Kamala Harris, if anybody from her camp is looking, or if this just happens to come across your feed, I believe you owe Mr. True Love an apology.
That's a
and
fact.
Anybody else who has been wrongfully convicted while you were in office, you know, especially in San Francisco, because, like, you know, growing up in the Bay Area, we are trained to not cooperate with the law, to not, you know, talk to the police, you know, F all police, and just have this innate bias towards anything related to law enforcement, right? And the times that we're in right now, you know, I think political people, law enforcement, and the streets and the community need to find a way to sort of come together or come to some meeting ground where they can have some kind of conversations, you know, and, you know, create something to benefit the community.
That's true. It just shocked me her cheering the conviction though. Like,
when he said that hurt when I heard that.
Because if you didn't have no motive in that, why would you have invested energy into that to do all of that? You get what I'm saying? Especially holding the position she holds in office. You know, that's just something I gotta look into. But yeah, I appreciate that right there. I didn't even know that. Salute to that dude.
I also know that one president in 4 years can't change the history of this country.
Yeah, that's a fact.
One president who just ran for 4 years can't do too much on his own. Although, you know, there's been a lot of commotion around Trump's name. Let me ask you this. What has Donald Trump done for the country, for America, while he was president?
Nah, I agree with you on you funny for this.
No, and I ain't even trolling either. I just I want to weigh the options. Let's do a decisional balance right here. What
you
are our
didn't
viewers?
cop them gold shoes?
Huh?
You didn't cop them Air Trumps?
No, sir. No,
Come on, bro. I
I'm
know you
rocking
got them.
black Tims, baby. Black. It's a
Yeah.
black on black thing with
I
me right
don't know,
there.
man. I don't know,
But look,
man.
okay,
That's
so
what he did for the country, bro. He
the
dropped
EDD
some
thing.
dope shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? He really ain't. Trump is Trump. You get what I'm saying?
I think a lot of people in our community identify the whole PPP loan thing with Donald Trump and the stimulus checks that he was giving out to the community. If you filed your taxes, you get like an extra $600 or something like that. That was
But
historical.
That's not. Listen.
And the
That's
PPP,
not
they was getting like 20
something-
bands per
That's
per
not
lick.
something to identify that you want to put on your leader. Like, you giving up
That's
that
a
me
fact.
personally, bro.
And
like,
it goes back to some of the stuff we've been talking about is how
Yeah,
in the black
that-
community we
look what it did.
associate certain things with unhealthy.
You giving
shit.
them. Look what it did.
Come
It was
on,
people
man.
that couldn't even eat at a restaurant without getting harassed. You get what I'm saying? Because everything comes to an end. But I don't know why people love associating Trump with that. Like it really did something. Nah, it really did a lot worse.
But look, look, I'm not heavy into politics.
Me
First
neither.
of all,
Me
I
neither.
turn on the TV.
Me
I go
neither.
watch YouTube and I look at law and crime. I look at
I'm just here for
I
the
watch
ride.
podcasts. I watch Instagram. I watch
I just like
Power
reading
and
and
shit.
learning shit.
But
My opinion don't
I
matter.
do
man.
understand that the times that we living in, especially being an adult black male, with the ability to vote and the ability to like have a business and the ability to go to work and the ability to take care of my family, it is important to have some level of understanding with this politics stuff going on.
Facts,
They're going out of
facts,
space every 6
facts.
months. This never
That's
happened
crazy.
before,
Yeah,
and they're
that's
publicizing
crazy.
this. They're allowing people to pay money, like you catching a Spirit flight.
That's crazy.
To Compton real quick.
That's
Like I'm
crazy.
finna just cop on Spirit
Every-
for this $99.99
Yeah, every
real
6
quick
months.
and go out
That's
to the
crazy.
International Space Station.
I be tripping off of just how far advanced technology is anyway. Like, think about it. It took damn near 50 years to get a TV going. You get what I'm saying? And then another 50 years, every 6 months they going back and forth to space.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And look,
That's-
y'all, look.
I be tripping off that too. So we just here to talk.
Yeah, we gonna
Speak
hey,
on
look.
how we feel and give it, in the rightest, perfectest way we can possible, man.
That's a fact. We gonna call this segment of the Code of Ethics podcast, the decisional balance. In the psychology field, we often encourage our patients to try and make the most healthiest decisions that they can. Somebody who like let's compare this to somebody who like in early recovery,
Right.
an individual who just got off of using substances or are having a hard time getting off of them, but nonetheless they're trying to seek help. They're gonna have a hard time making decisions related to maintaining their abstinence without some assistance. And that assistance can come from like some kind of support, like a sponsor, going to therapy, going to their treatment, taking their medications or whatever it may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Decisional balance is when you look at a decision that you have to make, you're going to weigh out the pros and the cons. What's the positives and what's the negatives? So in any situation, not just this political situation that we're doing, this is an example of how you can apply this to different areas of life.
Right.
You can make a decisional balance, right? Like if I have to make a tough decision related to finances, you know what I'm saying? I can write this down. Especially a lot of people are visual learners too, meaning that you got to see it before you believe it. So write it down. Write down on the right side of the paper, what's all the benefits of this decision that I'm planning on making? And on the left side of the paper, what's all the disadvantages to this decision that I'm planning on making? And after you look at it, it should create a theme for you and assist you in making the most effective decision that you can make. And you can apply that to politics, to finances, to relationships, to sex, to all types of
all
stuff.
things, yeah. That's dope.
That's a fact.
That's dope.
Okay, man. So look,
That was
Hey, we,
dope
we,
though,
we took
man.
it there with politics real
Yeah.
quick, and, I see how politics can be real crazy, and it can get people all riled up, and even if
That's the fun in it.
like
It's supposed to get you going.
that's true, that's very true. But some people feel that they can't be friends with somebody or be cordial with somebody who's voting different from them, right?
Right,
That's
right.
why you. I
Yeah,
mean, you
that's
got people.
crazy.
You got people literally like
That's crazy.
sending messages to other people to get as many guns as you
Yeah.
can get before November 4th.
Yeah,
To
that's crazy.
rack up on ammo and all this kind of shit because if they
Right.
feel like it's some kind of civil war coming, all related to this political decision where we just casting a vote. And from my understanding, our individual vote does not influence the election, a whole lot. I think it's the electoral college that actually makes the
you're
decision
right.
in
You're right.
each state.
We
know what I'm
have a
saying?
more impact on the lower level, like Senate.
Yeah.
Smaller. The lower level of Congress a person is, the closer they are to the people.
Yeah.
The higher up, the more closer they get to corporations. So we really don't have a say so when it comes to the president. But you know how it go.
Just cause you ain't voting the same as somebody else, man, it ain't funk. It ain't real funk. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? You ain't gotta strap up and go shoot something, defend yourself by all means. But man, I don't love where the country has gone to where
Right.
it seems like a civil war is on the verge with whatever the outcome of this election may be.
That's a fact,
and that's
man.
crazy as fuck to
I'm
me,
glad
knowing that
you
I got
said
little
that.
kids like
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said
like,
that.
We got
Yeah.
we got. It's heavy. It's heavy just because what may happen. We're living in a time that is so unpredictable that this is an idea that people be thinking about. But what if it actually did happen? So, and I'm not trying to make anybody afraid or anything like that. But these are real conversations.
No, these
real
are
thoughts
things
people
that
are
you
having.
should be talking about in your home.
Real shit.
You get what I'm saying? Because I mean, I've talked about this in my home, and if that question comes up too much, like, do we need to get more? You get what I'm saying? And if you having that conversation, and that mean even your little ones is on at ease. You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm glad you brought that up so that a person out there in the audience can really take this information if they not hearing it, because there's so much gossip and so many things in the news to where they don't even see this coming. You get what I'm saying? To where you doing something from the podcast to give them some type of awareness to where they could see this shit and really go do something about it if they need be.
Right. And last time that there was an election, when he lost, he told everybody to go down there and campaign and be patriotic, and officers got killed, regular people got killed, people got stampeded,
that was wild.
shit like that. Like, and it was, and if you look in the audience, it was mostly Caucasian people.
Bro,
I ain't even gonna,
yeah.
let's just keep it 1,000.
You
right?
really gotta
Right?
know who
If
you
they was-
dealing with.
If they was black
Yeah.
though, what do you think would have happened?
Come on, man. We know what would have happened. We
Military,
see, we see a
FBI,
demonstration.
CIA, all kinds of
Yeah,
shit.
we see a demonstration all the time about what would happen if it was one of us. It's gonna be way worse. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But you gotta understand, this is a man that had dinner with the Ku Klux Klan at his hotel.
Man.
You get what I'm saying? So you really gotta, like I said, you just gotta really know what you're doing and what you're dealing with, and really go ahead and dive into your research just so that you know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look, this ain't no anti-Trump podcast or anything like that. But we want to know, what are the benefits? I'm not even the benefits, but what
That's
types
it.
of things
Yeah.
has Trump done during his 4 years in office that has benefited the American people?
Yeah, it ain't gotta be a
Like
rah-rah
what's so?
debate.
I just want to know what's so
Yeah.
good about him. What's so
It-
good about
it?
him?
Don't
bro?
have to
Especially
be a rah-rah
consider
debate.
right.
Yeah.
Especially considering all the bad stuff we've heard. Like, just drop a few good things, just so I can
wanna
help with my
know.
decision that I'm gonna
Yeah,
make. Right?
I want to know, because I'm someone right now that's teeter-totting, because I want to know the information.
right. Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, and I could stand here and say that because it's just the truth of the matter. I want to know what I'm dealing with. And if I'm going to invest my energy into it, I'm going to do the research. So by them leaving comments or telling us what they think about Trump, I can even research it as well. They helping us out as well, man. This is perfect. And it don't have to be like a all raw bad thing. It could be really just a thing of minds. Like, let teach me what I don't know. You get what I'm saying? And vice versa. That's how it's supposed to go. You know, steel sharpens steel.
And look, I know we said we're going to call this episode Sex and Relationships. We're going to go ahead and call this one Politics. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to sex and relationship.
Hey, the dog be
we're going to go ahead and call this one Politics because we got a couple more things related to this whole. We might as well just make this the episode on the God. But look.
I mean, you can do it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
So we're going to just drill a little bit further into this topic. Go ahead and comment. Let us know what's some stuff that the each side has done to help inform other people's opinions on a vote.
I want to know who is Kamala, where she come from. You get what I'm saying? I just feel like it's too many marketing dollars behind her. That's what scares me. And normally, you know, when somebody is seeing you constantly in marketing ads or anything that you look up on, somebody is paying for you to be seen like that. And those are the type of questions I got because I'm aware of a machine.
That makes sense.
You know,
I didn't even think about that angle, honestly, because I be seeing this. I be watching. I watch a lot of different little apps when I'm streaming. When I'm watching movies and shit, I just stream different apps.
Right.
And Kamala got a couple little commercials on these different apps. She be like, what do women have say so on what they do with their bodies? She say that same little
line
slogan on all these different little ads. But nonetheless, that brings me into this next little part. Roe versus Wade. Right? The which gives women permission, not even permissions, but the privilege, right, to have an abortion if that's something that they would like to do with their bodies, right? Which is something that's historically, since I believe the 50s or 60s, when Roe versus Wade was established, or went into effect when that landmark case happened, women have had the option to have an abortion if they'd like to, due to Roe versus Wade.
Right.
What we know is it's been overturned, and I'm not sure if the Republicans overturned it, but I know the Democrats is advocating to reverse it, right? So I believe it's a Republican thing or a Trump sort of thing, Roe versus Wade being overturned, right? Let's talk about it a little bit. Women not having the ability to say, okay, I don't want to move forward with this, with this baby. I'm gonna go ahead and get an abortion. That's an option that they've had. Even though it's it's a sad situation, losing a child, right, or aborting a child.
Of course,
there's a whole different angles we can take on this topic, which I'm gonna get to. We're gonna get to a couple of them, but let's first talk about the idea of it being overturned and why. Why is Roe versus Wade being overturned? Here's a couple facts. Well, we know statistically, according to a lot of research that's out there, black women have the highest mortality rates when it comes to childbirth.
Of course.
Meaning, black women are literally dying having babies. This is something that's like not talked about a lot. There's shout out to the Solano County Women's Health Department. I did an event with them about a year ago, for the last 2 years, with our company Love Cloud Restore, and they talk about like the importance of doulas and midwives, and they talk about this epidemic of Black and Latino women being at a disadvantage when it comes to these health disparities out there, right?
Because you rarely hear about it. That's a fact.
Right. Why are black women dying so much when it comes to childbirth? And I think a lot of it has to like do with like access to medical care, and things like that. One other fact that we know is white women have low fertility rates.
Right.
Think about that. White women having low fertility rates, black women having high mortality rates. Overturn Roe versus Wade. If you get pregnant, you locked into that. Meaning more black women gonna die. if a white woman does get pregnant, she'll have the baby. She'll move forward. They're not typically dying.
Right.
So this is a couple angles on this. Like, you know,
so what?
This is just where my brain goes with this.
What do you think?
If you think about the idea that white women are not getting pregnant as often, what does that mean 50, 75 years from now? That the white race won't be as superior, dominant. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the system makes them superior.
What I mean, right. Meaning by in numbers and in control of the population, right?
Yeah. But we've been the majority for a minute now. I really believe that's a lie. Like, but I understand the psychology in it. But I don't believe that we the minority.
Yeah, I think blacks and Latins are having more babies. But think about the idea that they're dying.
That's a separate. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Now that right there is something that's crazy because that's not information that you hear. It's not being taught. You know, that's crazy.
Right. And I've seen a couple little different videos on YouTube talk about, population control type of thing.
Right.
I've
seen stuff on that.
A couple of different angles on it, but we want to know what do people understand the reason behind the overturn of Roe versus Wade to be? I don't know what it is. My brain goes a lot of different ways, and that's why I'm on here on this podcast, kind of talking about those things. We like for you guys to comment.
Yeah, that's something.
Let us know what your thoughts are on this, and this to help educate us and help educate.
Yeah, that's something listening. I need to be well educated on.
But it's a huge debate topic. It's a huge thing that's going into this whole election. Is the overturn of Roe versus Wade, women having the ability to get an abortion if they need to. Well, I know,
didn't it came pretty far by them bringing it to the state. They never thought they was going to get it to the state to where the state would be the ones that decide on that. I know that was a big thing for them, but as far as going deep into it, I couldn't tell you. And then I'm not into telling a woman what to do with her own body.
Right. Like me personally, I feel like it's on an individual case. Yeah. Like each woman should be able to make that decision on her own,
for themselves.
You know what I mean?
I feel the same way.
But let's look at the other angle on that, because in order for a woman to get pregnant, it does take a man to impregnate her, right?
Yes.
There's other different, artificial insemination. I get those situations. In an artificial insemination situation, it should be a woman's only decision, right?
Right.
But what about the guy's opinion on this? Should it matter? Seems like it doesn't matter right now, and historically it has not mattered.
It really does.
Should it matter though? That's what I want to know.
I believe it should matter because the impact on a child's life of having both parents is crazy. Versus having one, I believe it was never just a personal choice, so it should be accountable for all things as a man, and not only that, that'll give life to society. If all men was on that and all women was on that, that would definitely give life to society. You'll have way more happier homes, happier babies. You get what I'm saying?
So men should have some sort of
men should be accountable and have decision
and abortion making.
Yes.
All right. So here's my question. I'm sorry. That sounded all fucked up. My bad, Joe.
It should be. Let me say together.
So okay. So men and women, the man and the woman should get together,
right,
and make the decision.
That's
on
what
abortion.
I believe, because you're gonna make the same decisions to take care of the kid if you keep it, right?
So I imagine.
But I'm not with a man coming in telling a woman, "Hey, you gonna keep."
Right.
You giving up.
Right. Okay. That's where I was going with that.
I wouldn't. I'm not with that part.
Because it's ultimately her decision, right? It's her body.
That's her body. And as a man, you supposed to if you really care and you come in and step in, but when you stepping in before that baby is due or whatever the case may be, your role is to make sure she's okay. So you as a man should be supporting the woman. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
just give your opinion. You know, and I'm sure you guys could come to a decision, but I don't believe a man should be able to tell a woman what to do.
Hell nah, you can't. On a black woman,
That's a fact. That's a
please,
fact.
it's not happening, bruh. It's not
You
happening.
getting cussed
But
out in
look,
the room, huh?
but look, yeah, man, they need to go ahead and put Roe versus Wade back into effect, man. Let them make a decision if they on their own. You know what I mean? I
Right.
mean, without the government involvement
Right.
is what I mean.
That's a
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? Let that family make that decision. Um, yeah, I want to know y'all opinion on this. Comment in the comments though. Does the man in the relationship or in the situation
Yeah.
have any say so in that decision to have an abortion or not? Um, Seems like it's typically and ultimately the woman's decision due to it being her body,
Well,
right?
yeah. I
Um,
mean, it's been like that in all aspects. Dealing with a baby, it's always been the woman. You get what I'm
hmm
saying? So, yeah, I can
hmm
see that.
yeah, and I think the contrary to that discussion is that what about them niggas that be leaving? Soon as the baby there, they gone. You know what I'm saying? Should they even have any decision, right? So I can,
Well,
so
to them, man, something I learned, soul ties. They
talk
need
to
to
me about that. Talk
they
to me
need
more
to
about
learn
that.
about soul ties. Because
Laces,
even
laces.
though you leaving, you still ain't leaving because when you lay with a person, you create soul ties. And I would recommend everybody to go get their own definition of it for themselves. Look into it. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, we gotta stop doing that. We
Yeah,
can't be doing that.
yeah. We gotta be there for them kids, man.
That's
We
a
lay with
fact.
them. We gotta stay with them.
That's a fact.
Not with them, but with our babies though, for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If the relationship don't work out, it don't work out. But please make all efforts to,
that's a fact.
be with the kids.
Nah,
They don't deserve that.
100%. The
You
the
know.
the 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 outcome of that baby is gonna be totally different.
hmm
You know.
We got here by talking about, the politics that's going on right now
Right.
in America, the political climate. It's a lot of wars going on right now too, as we speak. It's
Yeah.
actually two
A lot
actual
of
like active wars.
whispers of wars, rumors
hmm
of wars, a lot of wars, cyber wars.
hmm
Wars is being fought totally different these days. It ain't
It
really
is.
boots on the ground no more. It's like man, crush your
It's an
economy.
AI war.
Yeah,
It's an
you
AI
giving it?
war,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They're pressing a button
yeah.
and they
It's
trying to wipe
totally
the
different
whole
now,
side of the
man.
map out in 30 minutes type
Man,
stuff.
speaking of war, not to like turn, it's crazy because this still is war. I was checking this narco thing out, and they was showing how the military literally had just one group where they just specialize in drone operating. Like that lets you know, like AI drones. War
hmm
is totally different,
Right.
man.
Right.
If the cartel doing that, it's totally different.
I got a cousin who just retired from the military at 30 something years old, which is out there. Like
Yeah.
that's huge, right?
That's big.
But I asked him about, what's your thoughts on the war over in Gaza or the war over in um um what's brother name in Russia? Putin.
Putin.
What's your thoughts on Putin and this whole the threats of a nuclear war or world war and all this? And he approaches the discussion so gently and nonchalantly, like it's not even a threat or it's not
Hmm.
even a big deal, right?
Right.
It's not a huge thing to be worried about right now,
Right.
right? But this is also somebody who's been to war before, understands war tactics, understands politics,
Propaganda, the
and
whole
all
nine. Yeah.
the shit, right? So, you know, it, everything that we seeing is happening for a reason. I mean, I think we definitely got to stay on our toes. You definitely got to teach your kids and to watch their surroundings. You know what I'm saying? And just understand what's going on in the world other than just shit you see on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Although on YouTube you can see a lot of things that we're talking
Yeah,
about,
that's a
right?
fact. You can
It's
see
just
a lot.
it's just a matter of what you decide to put on the dinner table to talk about.
Sometimes when you see things like that, especially in that nature, you really got to do your research on history. So you really gotta go see how it came to. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what's going on, why these two people don't like each other. It's always a
Hmm.
paper trail, especially in history. Me personally, I'm not gonna speak on it, but I understand what's going on, you know, and I understand that it'll never be peace in the Middle East until certain things occur. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Um,
That's a fact.
but I send mine to everybody that's lost a loved one or any type of friend or family member over there. But yeah, it's crazy. But the best thing you can possibly do really is dig deep, do your research, figure out who is who, so you know what is what for yourself, so that you don't, be tricked into believing something that could be false or it could be real.
That's right, man. And stop playing rebound, man. Stop playing defense, man. Play offense out here in these
That's a
streets.
fact.
What I mean by that, man, is go out there and get you a trade. Go out
That's a
there and
fact.
get you some kind of work. Go out there and get you a job. Get you some money to where you ain't gotta be in a crisis
Keep talking
situation.
to him.
Figure out what the hell is going on. How am I
Yeah,
gonna support my family and shit like that?
cause
Like
it's
you
gonna
you
get
just
like
playing
that.
rebound ball at that point, right? Like have something saved up for that rainy day. Don't be that person that's dependent on who the president gonna be to depend on, I mean, to influence what your outcome is going to be.
That's a
Don't
fact.
be that person that's dependent on who the president is going to be, who's going to win this race, this presidential race
Right.
between Harris and Trump to determine what your outcome is going to be.
That's a
You know what I'm
fact.
saying?
Because if you
Because,
don't make the right decisions, not to cut you off, Doc,
yeah,
regardless of who in office, if you don't have discipline for yourself, you're gonna be fucked regardless.
that's a fact.
That's
Like a lot
that's
of us
that's
been
some
grinding
real
for hella
shit.
years already, bro.
Yeah,
We've been grinding for all these years already to prepare for situations like this.
yeah.
So it don't matter who the outcome is, we gonna still go up. We
Because
gonna
you
still do
you
what we gotta
already
do
know what's
to
to
keep
come.
our train moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with like stability, structure, like
Strategy.
strategizing,
Mm-hmm.
continuing to grind, man, every single
Discipline.
day, and putting your efforts and your initiatives towards something that's productive and that's gonna benefit your family in
Yeah.
the long
You
run,
really
right?
you really
Don't
gotta
be
know
that
what to.
person that's dependent on
Yeah.
who's gonna win this presidential race to
Yeah.
determine what your outcome is
You
gonna
should
be.
be focused on learning what's valuable to your time, because that's something you can't get back. You need to know how to work time for yourself so that you
Right.
can use it more for the loved ones. You got to get smart. You got to tighten up. You shouldn't be worried. Like he's saying, it doesn't matter who's in office. If you don't make the right decisions and tighten up the way shit's going and the way this economy is going, you going to get smacked.
Right.
Simple as that. I'm gonna
Right.
keep it clean with you. You get what I'm saying? And that's just the way the world is turning. You need to learn how to transition. And the only way to transition, like he's trying to tell you in a nicer way, is pretty much like get off your ass and get to focusing and rebuild
Lock
yourself
in.
if you got to. Sometimes you gotta reinvent yourself. You get what I'm saying? So it's all right. We ain't got it all. We ain't perfect. But if you don't get it right and want better for yourself and love yourself enough to, want more, you ain't gonna never get it right.
Hey, today is the perfect time to start, man. Today
Facts.
is a perfect time to start. And, depending on what the angle is that you take, who knows how long it's gonna take till you get to that stable place to where it don't matter who the president is, you gonna be up regardless.
That's a
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? But you gotta start somewhere. You can't be sitting on a couch scratching your ass.
See, boys and ladies, it's really and then who you surround yourself around. You know,
Yeah.
that's man. Look at man. Hey, I'm trying to learn from him.
Come on.
You
Likewise.
always
Likewise.
put yourself around good people. You give good energy, you gonna get somewhere.
That's a fact.
Negativity gonna beat you down. You gonna be too tired to keep going. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You gotta stay strong and stay on your toes.
Yeah, and his system of politics was put in place years
For a
ago.
reason. Yeah, for
Years
sure.
ago, like ancestors,
That's a
ancestors'
fact.
time. You know what I'm saying? But they did that for a reason.
Yeah,
I think a
that's
lot
a
of that
fact.
has to do with division. You know what I mean?
I think I
Dividing
believe
people.
so too. That's why I
Hmm.
always be willing to have the conversation with an open mind and don't put my emotions on nobody. You get what I'm
Fact.
saying? Because I really know what it all is. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's just the participation because you really if we really get to the nitty gritty, you will literally have to break down every bill. You're not finna be able to read every bill. You're gonna have to sit see what they altering. You get what I'm saying? Everything is given to us with a different type of face.
And it's like a car salesman, man. They're gonna tell you everything up front, all the good shit up front. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do that
selling
for
the
you.
lifestyle.
What
yeah,
you want
I'm
your
trying
student
to get
loans
in
canceled?
office. Yeah.
Nigga, student loans canceled. What?
Yeah, I'm trying
you
to get in
office.
office.
$5,000 a month.
Yeah.
I heard Kamala said she was giving single parent homes $6,000 a month for the first year of the kid's life. I'm like, who's gonna pay for all of that
I
stuff?
believe
But
it.
I mean, it sounds good. It do sound good.
Taxpayers, you know.
Do your education. I mean, do your research, y'all. Look into these people. Go ahead and not just, I ain't gonna say vote. I'm gonna say be involved in your community.
That's a fact.
Right? Start setting some
That's
stuff
really
up in
where
your
it
community.
start,
Like figure out how you can be involved with the folks that's making decisions in your community about the roads, the liquor stores in your community, about how to
go to town hall meetings, like he's saying.
all that.
It's certain
All
people
that.
you are close enough to where you can really make some noise and shake the tree. You get what I'm saying? If you have issues in your neighborhoods and where y'all from, man, you can always address those issues at town hall meetings. And like he's saying, we can regroup and rebuild our communities by bringing in financial literacy, bringing in tech, bringing in different things instead of waiting on them to do gentrification in our neighborhoods and buy us out and push us away to them. We don't have nothing.
Another way is also, like we talked about a couple of episodes ago, is look into those community health needs assessments.
Facts.
Identify what's the most prevalent community health needs or issues in your community, and develop some programs to address those needs. Go seek some federal grant money or some local grant money, man, and put your pen to the paper, write a grant proposal, get that money, and help the community out that way. They saying vote. Yeah, they want your vote. Every 4 years, they're going to tell you to do that. But there's other things that you can be doing every single day to try and enrich your community.
That's a fact.
And that's what we on right now,
And if you got any questions about any of this information, you can always DM us. You get what I'm saying? Me or the doc, we're going to for sure get back at you. And if I don't know it, I'm going to for sure reach out and we'll figure it out together. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
y'all
sir.
Make sure y'all stay in tuned with us, man. Code of ethics. Hey, stay strong out there. Love your family, man. You get what I'm saying? Create good memories. Hold on. We good. We good. On our toes, baby. Another episode down with the doc, man. I'm Musa, man. Hey, we love you, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. Code of Ethics Podcast. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share. We out of here. Peace.
Hey, blessings.